The people have spoken, and Jake DeBrusk has to be on the main roster this season, and indeed he will be. That, of course, means that Danton Heinen will be traded away, and it's tough because you could say, oh, just put him on the fourth line. I do still want to see if Jesse Gabriel can become something, if Cole Castles can improve. I imagine, though, an 84 is probably his cap. Same with Hunter Smith. I want to see if he can become something. Maybe, an 81, 82 as a fourth liner would be decent. This team in general has obviously changed a lot. Now, I didn't come into the series with a specific plan, but when teams come to you like, hey, you want Jeff Skinner for not much at all? How do you say no to that? And then, it's like, do you want to run with Marchand and Jeff Skinner? Because that can cause some issues, kind of, sort of. But then, hey, can we get Tyler Seguin because we need a top center because Patrice Bergeron has regressed? Oh, they'll do Tyler Seguin and Gurianov for Marchand and a couple of other pieces. Like, who sees that coming? I mean, I genuinely didn't expect to come into the series, and before this point, or at this point, have Seguin and Dougie Hamilton on this team. These series, whether, I've talked about, walking the fine line of realism, just, the game just throws curveballs at you, and you have to go, you just have to pick a way to go when you go. That's what am I saying? You guys get the point, though. This will be the team moving forward. Defensively as well, it's going to be interesting to see what Cholowski, Zaboral, and Carlo can do. Now, you could argue, maybe trade one of them, try and get a good defenseman, but someone like Zaboral and Carlo, they could turn in to elite defensemen, and I will show you why I think that as we get ready to trade Danton Heinen. For Heinen, we're either going to look for a prospect, although we do have quite a few down in Providence still that are really good, or we'll just look to get a pick. But really quickly here, actually, I wanted to show you on Anaheim. For example, Shea Theodore is their most valuable player. He is high top four potential. Same thing as Carlos, same thing as Zaboral. So that is why I don't get out. That is why I don't go out to try and get an elite defenseman, is what I'm trying to say. It's early. It's not late this time. It's early, and I am not a morning person, but we are here and we are getting this done. I forgot that we had Lampkin, too. I forgot that we had Joel Lampkin, who we can look to trade at some point, depending on what we eventually need. Granted, of course, the Colorado Avalanche still could really have used him, and we kind of fleeced him and the system to get him, but you know what? That's the way the cookie crumbles. Danton Heinen, you're a good player. Much like Noel Acciari, much like Austin Czarnik, I expected you to be our third line in this series, but DeBrusk and Senyshyn, they take priority, and of course, there was no intention of getting rid of Patrice Bergeron. The only thing that is going to suck is this is going to cause a bit of morale trouble, as if we didn't have enough already, because of the way the offseason went, and because of the amount of trades we have had. I don't remember if we did we recently sign Heinen to a one-year deal, or is his contract just coming up at the end of this year? Anyway, that is my only concern, is that we are going to get into that trouble stage of, no, you're not allowed to sign anybody. But let's see, that won't go through from Chicago. I would love to get 2 seconds, maybe, because, wow, we have so many thirds because of all these trades. Let's see, if we tack on a third, we're getting 2 second-round picks from Chicago, no doubt about that. And that is the thing with this series, is we get these prospects, we get these picks, and it's a vicious cycle of unrealistic play, but at the end of the day, it's about winning cups, and we have done that, and we will look to win again this season. So with Danton Heinen on the way out, we are good to move forward, and we will sim the first month of the season. Alex Lyon will get at least one start, probably against the LA Kings, since they are a non-conference opponent. So let's see how this new-look team can do with Tyler Seguin, Jeff Skinner, and David Pastrnak as our top line. That is unbelievable. Let's see how we can do. Remember, we've had some slow starts in the past and ended up winning the cup. So let's see what happens. 6-2-1 through the first 9 games in the first month of this season. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Of course, we did tune down the injuries, as we have discussed. Very close to getting to the point in both series where I'm asking you guys, should we just turn them off? And some people have said that already, and we will potentially explore that idea in the future, because if we turn off the injuries, that changes, of course, how I would structure the team, especially in the AHL. We would carry less prospects. But right now, let's take a quick look. Again, we're only a month through the season. The top line not doing too poorly. Denis Gurianov, who, again, pretty crazy that we ended up getting him as well in the Sagan trade. Not doing too bad. Stromwall did miss a couple of games despite us turning down the injuries, so that was pretty disappointing. DeBrusk, Bergeron, and Senyshyn's looking like a solid line. That might be the best third line in the game right now. Who knows? I mean, having Bergeron as a third line guy is pretty nuts. And then on the fourth line, Gabriel, 2 points. He's a +2. Not that bad. Cole Castle's also 2 points. And Hunter Smith, 2 points. They're all plus players. That is pretty impressive. Torrey Krug and Dougie Hamilton doing well. Chalowski and Grzelcyk doing well. He has 7 points already. And then Zboril and Carlo, both doing all right. So far, so good. Tuukka Rask has a solid save percentage. Alex Lyon got a win in his only game. So we are looking good here as we continue on through the new season. Very, very close race in the Atlantic thus far. But again, we're not that far into it. But we will venture forward. November is a very busy month. Very busy indeed, where we might use Alex Lyon in more than just the 2 games where it's looking like he'll play. He'll play against Chicago and then either the Islanders or the Caps. But who knows? Maybe we'll give him that other Chicago game as well. We will see. Let's move forward. Let's keep this sim going. And honestly, I'm kind of scared that we're off to a good start because I'm not used to that. I'm really not used to that. 15-7-2 at the end of November. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not ideal, but not too bad. Now we have, again, had some injury troubles. Tyler Seguin missed some time. Jesse Gabriel missed some time, but we are in first place, 2 points ahead of Toronto and Tampa. And again, the division is still pretty close. Nobody has run away with it thus far through the first 24 games of our season. The good news is Cole Castles is up to an 84. Hunter Smith is up to a 79. Things are looking okay, although it is funny. Watch as we go best lines. It puts Strom on the first line, which, I mean, you look at the offensive stats, it's not surprising. That's why I normally don't pay attention to the player role. Like, sometimes it makes sense, you know, like I want to have Jesse Gabriel here to see if he improves, right? And he is making some progress. Hunter Smith is improving, and of course we know Cole Castles is improving, but there are some times where you just have to ignore it. And Malte Stromwall is a great example, and of course Jake DeBrusk is a great example. Like I said in the other episode, Stromwall is probably locked in at an 84 or an 85, but offensively he's good enough to be in the NHL. DeBrusk, obviously good enough to be in the NHL. We kind of want him to be better than an 84 with medium top 6 potential. But this game just simply works in weird ways. We all know that. We're going to go best lines down in Providence. Again, we have some talent that is just not getting some playing time, so we keep cycling it out and making sure that our best options are there. But anyway, we are not done with the sim in this episode. As always, I want to get to the All-Star break. And by God, we are going to do just that. And hopefully, we can continue to lead the way in the Atlantic Division. Not as busy of a December, but the good thing is there will be some chances for Alex Lyon this month. And then January also shouldn't be too bad. And we might just sim to the All-Star break now to save some time, because of course I do want to show you guys the stats. Unless something interesting happens, we will stop on New Year's Day. Let's find out, though. Who knows when we will stop? But we're going to go. Let's get going. Why am I hyping up the fact that I'm going to be making a jump cut and you're going to know game results? Who gives a fuck? Let's move forward. 2019 has come to a close. We have a 20-11-5 record. Again, not the greatest of stretches here for us. To the point where we also, of course, as you would assume, had some injuries. We called up Matthew Strome to give him his NHL debut in his second game. he goes out with a concussion. Just unfair. Just wrong and unfair. But we are still in second place in our division. But look at that. First place, 47 points. Sixth, 41 points. We are 36 games into this season. It is going to be right down to the wire. And we are going to have a decision to make, actually, here. We actually do need to send Matthew Strome back down. He just became fit enough to play. We're going to have a decision on our hands in regards to Patrice Bergeron and whether or not we want him to be on this team moving forward, because now he's down to an 87. He's only 34. He has 20 points. This year he still has a hell of a contract on him. But he is going to be a fourth liner sooner rather than later. For some reason, in the sim, he is just one of those players that regresses at an unbelievable and simply unfair rate. But that is a problem we're going to have to deal with in the future, and we will figure that out down the line. For now, let's sim to the All-Star break. We'll take a look at the stats, and of course, that'll give you guys the chance to have a little bit of input here before we sim the rest of the season in the next episode, and hopefully we have playoffs to talk about. But this is going to be huge for us right here in regard to whether or not we are going to have playoffs. We need to start stringing some wins together, so let's do that. 26-14 and 6 at the All-Star break. Not too bad at all when you really think about it. A pretty damn solid month for this team. We did lose 2 out of our last 3 games, and unfortunately Torrey Krug went down to an injury. He will be back in early February, but that gave us a chance to get Charlie McAvoy into the lineup. The Buffalo Sabres. They're a pretty good team, as it turns out. Still not that much separation, though. We're 5 points ahead of the second wildcard spot. This is going to be a crazy run, ride, walk to the finish, call it what you will. It's not going to be easy for us, but I still feel like, of course, we are in a pretty good spot. Throughout the NHL in general, we are 5th, which is, again, pretty damn good. Goals for, are we number 1? We are number 1 in goals for, just barely over the Blackhawks, one of 4 teams that is averaging 3 goals against. Our goaltending, middle of, actually no, it's not even middle of the road. Holy shit, we have the second best goaltending, or at least goals against per game in the league. How's our power play looking? Average power play. And penalty kill, since we're already here, our penalty kill needs to improve. That's not too surprising, but we can, change up the lines where it is needed. So looking at the team, we will start with centers here. David Krejci, 33 points in 46 games. Tyler Seguin, only 28 points in 39 games. Obviously, he missed 7 games due to injury, but 28 points. He's playing with Pasternak and Skinner, and he only has 28 points. He is shooting 12%, but very disappointing from him. Bergeron with 24 points. Not too bad on the third line. And Cole Castles, 11 points. If he hits 20, I'm content. If he hits 30, I'll be over the moon. Noah Gregor, who is just tearing it up in Providence, up to an 83. He's played 10 games this year. He has 4 helpers. Taratukins had 6 appearances. And Trent Frederick also made his NHL debut and has his first NHL goal. Jeff Skinner with 35 points in 46 games isn't too bad. Guryanov, kind of disappointing. Jesse Gabrielle has 6 points. Matthew Strome, 2 goals in 3 games. Not too bad at all. And then right wing, Stromwall, our leading scorer with 40 points in 45 games. David Pasternak, only 29 points. Pretty disappointing. DeBrusk and Senyshyn, both with 27 points. And then Hunter Smith with 7. Not too bad. A plus player as well. So I am content. Travis Barron has also had his NHL debut. You look at the defense, they are definitely helping us offensively, because right now we have had some struggling players. Dougie Hamilton with 37 points, 30 for Grzelcyk. Dennis Cholowski, who's up to an 85, has 19 points, and then Torrey Krug with 16. The 1- player is Jakub Zaboral, maybe not too surprising with him being an 82, but you would hope that he could pull things together here and make a little bit of progress. Tuukka Rask, 22, 12, and 4 in 39 games. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think the main issue for us right now is just an underperforming offense, which hopefully, in time, that can turn around. But that is where we end this episode. And I do wonder, should we make a move, or do we just wait and see? Do we just wait and see? I mean, Tyler Seguin, Jeff Skinner, they're both 27. They're not going to get any better. They're not terrible, but they should be performing at a higher level. You can say that for pretty much everybody. But that's it for this one, guys. Of course, if you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button to help support me and my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already to continue following this series and others. And I will see you guys in the next one, where we hopefully make the playoffs yet again. And then, as we always say, once you're there, you never know what will happen. I'll catch you guys next time.